Every night on NDTV, as much as we focus on the spread of the disease, we also look at the devastating impact it's had, especially on the bottom two-thirds of Indians who have virtually been stripped of their livelihoods because of the lockdown. Many measures have been announced to try to provide them a safety net, and we're investigating whether those measures are indeed reaching. Today, my colleague Alok Pandey travelled to villages outside of Lucknow, where he went to test whether the promise of extra food that had been promised to the rural poor was a myth or reality.
Big focus in rural UP, feeding the poor in these times of no work and an uncertain harvest. At this ration shop in Mahona, a Gram Panchayat 45 kilometers from Lucknow, the ration distributor says 291 out of 308 Antyodaya card holders, the poorest of poor, have already got 20 kg wheat and 15 kg rice totally free this month. The distributor's claim is backed up by villagers like Sadhna Kumari.
कोई पैसा वैसा तो नहीं मांगा गया आपसे?
जी नहीं.
नहीं मांगा गया.
नहीं.
But in the same village, there are many who may not get this free or subsidized grain. The reason? Red tape. Nirmal Kumar, who drives an auto for a living, and his wife Sunita say they filled this online application for a ration card last year, but their case is stuck.
कह रहे हैं अभी जो है जमे नहीं रहे फार्म दे बार गए कहीं जमा हुई है तब नाम दर्ज करें फिर जो है कोई सूचना नहीं मिली.
तो लास्ट टाइम आपने कब पता किया था सूचना के बारे में, कब कोशिश की थी पता?
फरवरी में गए थे.
क्या बोला आपको?
कहीं जब जो है लौट हुई है तब जो है बताएंगे, फिर नहीं बताया कुछ.
A few kilometers away, 75-year-old Dulari, whose husband works as farm labor, says her struggle has been to get an independent ration card for herself and her husband. Her children are married and have separate cards for their families. But this is a very poor household and the grain is never enough.
अरे हजार दफे चेयरमैन से कहन और नियमबर से कहन कोई सुनवाईते नहीं.
क्या बोलते हैं वो लोग?
हाँ वही कहीं है अब किल बनवा दे अब किल बनवा दे अब ही उजनो गेन तब कहीं कि देखो देव वही हमारे यहाँ जाट के लड़के है कहीं कि देखो हम उसी 2-4 दिन में बन जाये. कहूँ कुछ नहीं कि ऐलान कर दो, ऐलान करा के दो
ऑनलाइन.
हाँ.
So we've been going to these villages close to Lucknow for a few days now, and one thing that we have certainly noticed is that the intent of the government when it comes to providing welfare schemes to the poor, especially in the times of this pandemic, is certainly there. But the challenge is for the government to provide this to the maximum number of people possible and also in a hassle-free manner. That is something that is very, very important. In Lucknow with Dinesh Pratap Singh, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
And we also looked at the food chain to see how the lockdown is hitting India's mandis, where fruit and vegetable arrive. And this is worrying. If we looked at Azadpur Mandi in Delhi, which is one of the biggest mandis in India, fruits and vegetables are down 56% compared to the same time last year. In Bangalore's main mandi, vegetables, pulses and spices are down almost 20%. The Vashi Mandi, which is the main mandi for Mumbai, has actually partly been shut after a trader there was found infected with the virus. In the Koyambedu Mandi in Chennai, the inflows of what's coming in is actually gone up compared to last year, but only 30% has been sold. The rest has gone to waste because there's no one there to actually buy it. Joining us on the show, we have with us Neelkant Mishra. He's the co-head of Asia Pacific Strategy for Credit Suisse, and he's also a part-time member of the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council. Yamini Iyer, president of the CPR. Great to have her as always with us. Also joining us is Asif Sheikh. He's director Jan Sahas, which is a group of activists who've actually done a survey of migrants to understand how exactly they are placed. Now, Neelkant, this business of the fact that there's been a big drop in the amount of arrivals in mandis. This is amongst the many, many aspects of the economic repercussions of the lockdown that you've been studying at Credit Suisse. Is this amongst the most concerning?
Yes, because see, the lockdown is a parallel to someone being ill and you're asking them to take rest so that you can take care of their malaise, and once they're fit, you can sort of get them up and they start running again. So in the economy, a lot of activity has been deliberately slowed down
Yeah.
One of the activities that is not slowed down and which is part of essential services is food. That is, even when we do our analysis of the part of the economy where the workers are getting affected,
Yeah.
We assume that farming and food delivery and transportation is working seamlessly. So the fact that even that part of the economy where we were tracking that, the mango, this is the season, and mango arrivals nationally, as per ag market data, are down 70-80% year on year. And wheat arrivals, which now the season is starting, are down 95% compared to what the numbers were last year. I think these are signs that because of problems of transportation, because of problems of labor access, the mandis are not working. And this is actually means that a larger part of the economy is not working than had been assumed. This also means that this dysfunction makes things slightly more expensive for the consumer, and at the same time, the farmer doesn't get his due.
That's right. In fact, we hear that the prices are actually going up in different cities. It's almost up 30%, we're told, in some cities. So, Yamini, there's a certain cruel irony here that at one end of the chain, you have people, we just saw in the report, who are not getting access to enough food. And on the other hand, you have literally food crops being dumped at mandis and otherwise.
Absolutely. This irony is actually on the grains front, in any case, very much part of everyday life in ordinary times as well. FCA go-downs regularly overflow and we are not able to get grains to the poor. And in extraordinary times like today, it gets exaggerated. Two very important things I wanted to say linked to the report that you had. One, it's very important for us to recognize that at this point in time, we cannot afford to let the Indian state's red tape to become a burden and a hurdle on those who need access to food. We should not be bothered right now about ration cards, APL cards, BPL cards. We should be in a situation where anybody who goes to a PDS store that wants grain on a demand basis, somewhat like Narega, should be able to get it. Any targeting at this point in time is cruel and even worse than the economic impact of the lockdown on our poor. We said we'll give you grain, we should give it, regardless of whether you have your card or not, online, offline. At this point, we should just forget about corruption and just go for it so that people get what they need. Secondly, it's also very, very important for government, as I said this on your show a few days ago as well, to be able to communicate better. One of the most important challenges that is being faced is that even though over the last few days ordinances and orders have come out from various government departments across the country saying that mandis are open, that labor should come, farm labor is going to be exempted, so on and so forth, the fact that you have seen visuals of police brutality, they continue to happen. There are visuals and videos of mandis where police are beating up people that are coming in. It inevitably creates fear. So clear communication and much more effort at trust building, especially if we are going to go into a longer lockdown. And so I think these are two really critical things that need to be fixed right now so that we can address the problem.
But आसिफ शेख, आप जनसाहस से हैं, आसिफ शेख? जी। और आपने एक सर्वे किया माइग्रेंट्स का और आपने पाया कि एक तरह से जो हमारी रिपोर्ट दिखा रही थी, यामिनी भी कह रही थी, जो जहां तक खाने की बात है, आपके सर्वे ने बताया कि 42%, 42% के जो वर्कर थे, उन्होंने कहा कि उनके पास एक दिन का राशन भी नहीं था।
बिल्कुल, हम लोगों ने ये जो सर्वे किया वो तकरीबन 3,200 जो मजदूर हैं, जो माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स हैं, जो बुंदेलखंड से मध्य प्रदेश या उत्तर प्रदेश से दिल्ली एनसीआर जाते हैं, उनसे हम लोगों ने बातचीत करी। उसमें 42% लोगों का कहना था कि उनके पास अगले एक दिन के बाद के लिए राशन नहीं है। और बहुत से लोग ऐसे भी थे जो रास्ते में थे, जो दिल्ली से पैदल चलते हुए अपने इलाकों में वापस जाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे और उनको कई तरह की समस्या थी। भूख तो एक बड़ा मुद्दा है, भूख और प्यास एक बड़ा मुद्दा था, लेकिन उसके अलावा भी काफी सारी दिक्कतों का उनको सामना करना पड़ रहा था, जो कि डिस्क्रिमिनेशन था, जो कि वायलेंस था। तो उस तरह की भी दिक्कतें मजदूरों को के सामने आई हैं। एक और दिलचस्प बात इस सर्वे में देखने को ये आई कि केंद्र सरकार ने 42,000 करोड़ की एक घोषणा की है। 32,000 करोड़ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट लाइक कमिट और अनाउंस फॉर दी वेलफेयर ऑफ लाइक द कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर्स। लेकिन उसमें जो सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत थी कि सिर्फ 6% लोगों ने कहा कि उनके पास जो है वो रिन्यूड BOCW के कार्ड हैं जो इस स्कीम का फायदा उठाने के लिए ले सकते हैं, क्योंकि अगर आपके पास BOCW कार्ड नहीं है तो आप फिर जो BOCW के अंतर्गत जो प्रावधान है, जो वेलफेयर के प्रोविजन है, वो एक्सेस कर नहीं पाएंगे.
Okay, important point. This is the Building and Construction Workers Fund. Neelkant, I don't want to put you on the spot, but in your capacity as someone who is part-time member of the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council, I mean, is it do you think it's important for the government to just spend more at the moment? I mean, there was this 1.7 or 9 lakh crore package, but if you really break down the numbers, it doesn't seem to be enough for the kind of critical time we're in. Would you give that advice to the government? Neelkant, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but I lost you in the middle. So you were saying that, I mean, what are the things that
do you think that I was asking you whether the government should just spend more, spend generously?
See, actually, at this point, I think spending generously, of course, is what is perhaps the intent, because I think the intent in the government, to the extent that I know, is definitely to I mean, all the attention is on taking care of the poor. The problem is the plumbing, right? How do you, so you're ready to release a lot of water from the top,
right?
But do you really have the pipes so that they reach the right people? Because you will always have these exclusions which are unintended. So, for example, even in Mumbai, some of the PDS ration is actually not reaching. So I'm glad to hear that it is reaching outside Lucknow. So I think this is a war-like situation, and here I think the instrumentality of the action is actually even more important than the intent. Meaning that you can, this is happening in the banking system as well. That you are making available a lot of liquidity, but is credit being made available?
Right. I think
is the credit reaching the right enterprise?
Right. I think you're right. The plumbing, of course, is important, but let's see how it plays out. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're completely out of time.